Okay, let's answer your questions, shall we? Guys, welcome back to Making Everyday Magic. My name is Shauna, and if you are new here, we're a homeschooling family of 4. We're halfway through our 7th year of homeschooling, and today I'm coming here to answer your questions. So, let's jump right in. As always, guys, before we go any further, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. You can always find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. You are welcome to ask me a question anytime. You don't have to wait for a Q&A session to pop up. Okay, the girls are taking care of the guinea pigs, so you're gonna hear the vacuuming in the background. Yeah, okay, so I am filming this, Ask Me Anything kind of Q&A, like New Year edition. I have a sparkling water. They are from H-E-B. It is lime flavored, and I am obsessed with them. I absolutely love them. I feel like I'm having like a mixed drink or like a naughty drink, but they're good and it's just water and I love it. But they're also like a little bit more lime flavored than like so many things that are like flavored, but they're like not very flavored. I'm also sitting on the floor because that's what I felt like doing. So that. Okay, kids are in there. I'm in here. Let's go. The very first question that I got was, what does, and I don't remember who sent it to me or where it is, but I read it and it's not on this list. So I apologize because I don't remember who sent it, but they wanted to know what our homeschool day looks like from Tuesday to Thursday, because I do fall into the trap. I tend to only film Mondays because it's honestly a lot easier. I did just have like our mid-year update go up today from the time I'm filming this, which does show more of what like our everyday is like. And I also do have the intention of sharing very soon what like a full week, like what does our full week of homeschool look like? So let me just quickly tell you, we do the bulk of our group subjects together on Monday. Anything that's really mom heavy together on Monday. However, the kids still do need me for everything, like other things throughout the week. So while they do have things that they do independently, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's not like I don't do anything with them. I still help, work through the spelling lessons for each of them, work through the reading lessons for my younger one, and then like interact with them, check their work, things like that. But they do have their independent work Tuesday through Thursday. And again, I will be sharing that soon. So I will give you a full look at what that looks like coming up soon. If this like quick rattling answer didn't answer that well for you. Okay. I think this would actually honestly make a great video idea as well. Says, Alex Crook says, I'd love to see what you do for car learning when you're traveling to and from places, or in general, how do you keep your girls busy in the car? Okay, so we have a Chrysler minivan. It does have screens in the back. So when we have a long ride, I'll let them take a movie and they'll just watch a movie. Other than that, we have a bin that has like books in it and clipboards, and we've got colored pencils that live in the car so that they're always ready for that. If we are going on a trip like we did, for example, yesterday, it was like 5 hours of driving, I think all like round trip in one day. And so I will have them pack a backpack. Now, I let them take a baby in the car. They have neck pillows in case they want to take a nap, but they'll pack things that they want to do, what they're reading, things like that. But also, like when it is a school day and we've got something to do, but we still need to make sure that our school is done, what we will do, and usually I can account for this one way or another, in our week plan is what we will do is like they've watched their Matthew C videos in the car because we have the DVD system. They will pack their school backpack and they will load it with the things that they need to work on. If it's something that they need like a little bit of help with, I will take the teacher manual with me. And, like checking a practice voyage sentence, I can do that pretty easily in the car. But reading through a chapter of science, that's not going to happen in the car. So we just take things that are easy to do in the car, like one-pagers. My little one takes handwriting, which never looks good in the car, but it is what it is. But like they're thinking, they can work their sheet of math, things like that are easy to pack and to go. So we just load up a backpack, put it in the car, and they'll work through it as they're able, if they have enough time. Most days when we do that, again, we usually know in our week that that's coming or not coming, so we'll kind of fudge things around. So maybe we'll do double science on Wednesday if we know we're going to be out on Thursday, and do double things on Thursday that are more travel friendly. I hope that makes sense. But I think that is a good, like, full video, like how we pack, where we go, how we doing it. So I think I'm gonna put a star next to that, so I know that's a good video idea. Okay, you're a seasoned homeschool mama. This is from Katie Thrash. You're a seasoned homeschool mama. I find it interesting the trends that homeschool communities go through over the years, the fads and such. Okay, this is so absolutely true. So when we first started, all the rage was these poetry tea times, all the rage. Everyone was doing them. You had to have a poetry tea time. And that, I feel like, has definitely fizzled out. Not that no one's doing it, but just like this obsession where everybody's doing it all the time and talking about it all the time. Totally out the window. Something else that I feel like has come and gone, not gone necessarily, because I think people are still doing it, but like the obsession with talking about how you're doing it is morning baskets. Morning baskets were a huge, huge thing. So morning basket, morning menus. People were literally printing their menus and putting it in like a menu holder for their kids. That's, I feel like, you know, kind of ebbed and flowed there. So those are things that I think, those are also all things I never got on board with, because I'm not that gal. So yeah, those are definite trends. And other trends are like, nature walks and nature school. There's a lot of them. And here's the deal. It is beneficial because you may not know about it. It is beneficial because people find out about it and they want to do it, and then they get together and they do it, and that's fun. But it is detrimental when you feel like, again, part of the motivation for starting the channel, when you feel like there's this thing that you're like supposed to do, that you're somehow less than if you don't do, and that's where I have a big problem with that. And I think a lot of that, especially with Homeschool Trends, comes across that way. Like, oh, you're not doing that? Well, you're doing a disservice. That's absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. So that's a double-edged sword. I absolutely think that's a double-edged sword. Okay. Heather. Emotional, social well-being of raising girls. Oh my goodness, slippery slope. And this has nothing to do with homeschooling. This has everything to do with kids are hard. Kids are harder these days. I really think so. I think the introduction of the internet and social media is so hard. And I think something that we do is we try to explain to our children the dangers and the pitfalls of internet. We try to help them identify that kind of frenemy behavior. We help them work through it. We help them try to understand that hurt people. And that's why so many people get mean, or that they don't have the best example, or you don't know what their home life is like. We try to first teach them to be understanding, and not in the sense that they should accept what happens to them. Absolutely not, because I am a huge fan of don't allow people to cross your boundaries, or don't allow people to treat you in a manner that is not okay, that is unkind. I'm a huge fan of that. And I think our kids are more insulated because they are homeschooled from a lot of that. But it is hard, and it is increasingly getting harder to help them learn how to navigate their emotions and how to be in social settings that are healthy. Because I think, especially with the increased prevalence of social media, which we do not even a little allow, no reason, no way, no how. It is hard, and it is getting harder. So watch your kids, definitely check their phones, protect them, protect them. In that sense, I'm all for not sheltering them and keeping them under a closet and explaining big, tough, scary, sensitive subjects. However, I genuinely think that giving them unfettered access to the internet and social media is like, it's like playing Russian roulette. I mean, honestly, I think that we must teach them to use good problem-solving skills and critical thinking and things like that. teach them how to work this system for themselves, I think is very important, because they need to know how to recognize fake news and how to pick out maybe somebody's underlying motivation with things. I think it's really, really, really important, especially as a girl, to do those things. So by no means social media, by no means. People will say things behind a screen, and I have been the receiver of that many times here. People will say things behind a screen that they would never, never utter to your face. And I think adding into that adolescence and girls and complex social dynamics is just an absolute recipe for disaster. And I've seen it in grown people. There's no way that their little forming brains can handle that. So I think that, yeah, it's hard. It's hard, and it's getting harder. So banding together, trying to set a good example, and communication. Communication, absolutely. Communication, education, they'll solve every problem. Tips, tricks, hacks for all about spelling for people who feel incomplete unless every box is checked. And this is also Heather. Well, Miss Heather, let it go. Let it go. I know, it's impossible, especially when you've spent money and you feel like you have to do every single little thing. There is an appendix in the back of the All About Spelling programs that gives you other ideas on how to do that. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at all of your options, all of your options available for the All About Spelling program, or All About Reading. I want you to look at all of your options available. And then I want you to pick 2 that you think are going to work for you. 2, just 2. All you have to do is 2. So if that's playing the Splat game or spelling with the tiles or using just the letter app, just pick 2. That is it. Do 2. That's it. Okay. And then if those don't work, trade one out, get a different one, or use 2 for now, 2 for later. Here's what you don't need to do. You do not need to burden everyone, including yourself and your learner, with trying to do it all. This is an absolutely huge pitfall, because we are not incapable. We are not behind. We are not unable to recognize when our learners have mastered it or need to move on. If your child needs more practice, practice more. If they do not make them hate the process. So don't force them to check every box, okay? That's you. That's your mentality. That's not theirs. Figure out what your student needs, because you are honestly here in service to them. So keep that in mind. All right. Belle M says, I'd love to hear your more personal, in-depth thoughts on MCT. Michael Clay Thompson, for those of you who don't know, likes, dislikes, struggles with many parts of the program over the years, and how you pivoted or dealt with them. So we started with the first level with my older daughter, and I did the Kindle books because they were so much cheaper, because it is not inexpensive. I hate that I did that. I'm actually coming up to using that with my younger one next year, and I have yet to decide if I am just repurchasing the entire thing. I also made the mistake of using it as directed, because when you buy the full kit, it comes with the here's how you should use it, and that was an absolute nightmare for me. I can't do 3 pages here, and once you've done this, you start that, and once you do that, you do this, and then add in 4 pages of this, and then cover a little of that. It is just it's everywhere, and it's too much, and that didn't work for us or for our home. So I ditched that. As I usually do, I little tweak how we're using it, inevitably. But what I did instead is basically like a first, next, then. So a first, next, then to allow for ease of use. And so we start with the big thing, which is always the grammar book. And once I'm done with the grammar book, then we do add in the 1 sentence a day, and then we just do everything else next, one chapter a week, and it's manageable. And I love the Michael Clay Thompson for this reason of Heather's question a second ago. They tell you, don't do it all. If you do it all, you'll have no time. This is unreasonable. Do what works. And I love that. Absolutely love that. So for me, that is gold. And I appreciate that kind of take on it very much. So I love it. I'm going to keep using it until we don't love it anymore. Yeah, that's how I feel about that. Love it. We are now in what I've used Poodle, Town, or Island. I don't remember what order they come in. Town, Island, and now Voyage levels. Love them. I love them. All right. How do you do school over summer, if at all? Now, I do actually have I'm sorry, stop cooking the pan because I bet that's annoying. I do have videos that come out about this at the beginning of every summer. Things that we do is we maintain learning, not in the traditional school sense, but like this past summer, Adventure Academy, Night Zookeeper, kept up with the Times Tales in an effort to prep for multiplication. So we don't like let the fire go out. We keep it stoked, but I'm not like adding wood, if that makes sense. I hope that analogy makes sense. That was Earth Dungeons. Okay. Aj DeMarco, how did you teach preschool and elementary school? So we're literally currently teaching elementary school. The bulk of the videos here on this channel are about elementary school. I did, when I started this channel, start with the pre-K'er. So I had a pre-K'er who was at that time. So we did pre-K4 together, and I do have all of those videos here on this channel. So we started with the Timberdoodle base kit and then added on or took out from there, an hour, maybe a day. And that's just because mainly the reason that we had started her early with things like cutting, the Kumon cutting books, and things like that is because she wanted to, because her sister was at the table. She wanted to be at the table. I've got a 4-year spread, so she could recognize that her sister was doing stuff she wasn't doing, but wanted to do it. So that is kind of how we did that. Gave her lots of things she could do on her own. I can set her up with letter beads on a pipe cleaner, and she'd go to town. Set her up with Mad Matter, those little finger skills there. You guys know we love the Knowledge Crates Preschool Edition. Any of all of those things, learning how to hold a pencil, coloring, maps, flip-throughs, all of that is school. It's learning. So we just set her up and kept on trucking. Maybe it was how did you teach preschool and elementary at the same time? Again, I do have videos on that here. If I can remember, I'll try to link them up here or down here, or just search it. That's how, because that's also going to cover multiple kids as well, like how to homeschool multiple kids. Okay. The Bayou Bookworm, how long did it take you to find your routine or rhythm when starting out? So when we first started, we used a Texas Tech program, and I was doing what they told me to do. And we didn't stay on track. We finished on time, things like that, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good. So 2 years in, we went rogue. We went fully unaccredited because the first was just school at home, which a lot more people understand a lot more now, but this was pre-2020. So now, it was 2017 probably, 16, 17. Now, at 2 years in, we went rogue and did the fully unaccredited, all on our own Timberdoodle kits, which is still like training wheels. Come on, it's not all on my own. But made all the difference. And that allowed me, I think, to easily add in a second kid to our homeschool. And figuring out what didn't work for us helped us figure out what did work for us in constant evaluations, knowing why we do this and what our goals and priorities are, and then going from there. Until I embraced us and what makes our homeschool good for us, it wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. I didn't find my routine or rhythm till then. Okay. Simply Maluli, how do you know when it's time to get out of a curriculum or resources versus stick it with it for longer? How do you balance more than one child when homeschooling? I'll answer these. How do you know when to let go of a curriculum or resource? If it's not working for you, that's when you pivot. Okay? If it's not working for you, like Discover Science for us. The way we're using it, the way it directed, didn't work for us. So we pivoted. Is it working against you? So is it stealing that joy of learning from your kid? Is it making everybody miserable? Is it making your life harder? Then that is when you need to stop. Hang on one second. Yo, bitch. So if it is actively working against you, that is when you need to quit. Pull the plug and quit, because it's doing you a disservice. If everybody hates it, no. Just no. But if it's something that you could tweak and find success in, if you can pinpoint the piece of it that's not working, change the piece. If you can't, it might be throw out the whole dang thing, y'all. Okay, balance more than one child when homeschooling. This comes into independent work and patience because my children have things they can work independently. So if my little one needs help, I ask and they both need help at the same time, I ask the big one to move on, set it aside until I can work with her and to work on something independently. Ditto, vice versa. And then they must be patient. There is one of me and there are two of them. So it is important for them to understand that their immediate need is not my immediate need. These are not the same thing, and that they don't need to be distracting from their sibling. So that is how, I guess. Elena Waddle, when you're going through things, how do you stay on schedules, i.e. surgeries and or deaths? So if we are in one of those kind of seasons of life where it is just an absolute shiz show, and you know them, they're there, there's things, an illness or a surgery takes you out of commission, things like that. Sometimes, like with a surgery, you know it's coming. And you can adjust on the front side. Like, okay, maybe this year we work harder at Christmas because I know in January I've got a surgery. It's going to take me out of commission for 2 weeks, and that will be our winter break instead. So if you can, shuffle, play the shell game, move everything around, Tetris it in, and figure it out. If you can't, something set in like a death. If you have, or when I have the opportunity to just do a little, I do the things that matter most. So language, arts, or math. Everything else can just go by the wayside. You'll double up on it later, or you just won't, and that's okay. So if it is a situation where we are able, we will just do the big things. If it is a situation where I am not able to get to the big things, but they still have time, then I will encourage them to do their geography, thinking, handwriting, the independent work, because then they're still moving, they're still making progress, but I don't have to be involved in that. If it is a time when we just need to set everything aside because that is what our family needs, then that's okay. You can move the finish line at the end. You can go through summer. You can figure it out later. Not everything has to be figured out right now to complete conclusion. So that is okay. Don't worry about that because, not always is it going to take tons and tons of time out. If you can, fit it in when you can, because let's not kid, if you are going through something big and traumatic for your family, if you find 10 minutes a day to sit down on the couch together, doing the work together is a little bit of continuity that can give people a bit of comfort if it's mentally in your capacity. If not, just sit together, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that togetherness can serve your soul very well. So just do what works, do what feels good. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Okay. Sunshine Daisies, how you cope when the routine just isn't working and your child fights back. We've had this discussion before. I do have some videos here managing kind of behavior, discipline, things like that. It is not an option in our home. It's not. So this is a twofold question. So let me start with, if the routine isn't working for your child, it's not working and you need to do something else. And I mean this because your homeschool is in service to the education of your child. If it is not working for them, then you need to change it. And I don't care how attached you are. I don't care how well it works for you. If it is not working in favor of your child's education, you must change. Okay? You must. If they are just fussing and fighting and pushing back, that is a different situation. That is more of a parenting family situation and less of a school situation. Because in our home, school is not up for debate. You will school here or you will school at the school. There is not an option where you do not get an education. So that is not something. If it is, however, a piece of something that isn't working, then I'm going to encourage you to figure out what that is. In the routine, in the curriculum, it's a style of learning, any of those things. You can figure that out, pinpoint it, and address that thing. But as far as not doing any of it, it's not an option. It's not an option in my home. Rise and learn together. When do your kids start being able to do some independent work, and how do you encourage that? From the very beginning, I had them doing some form of independent work. And I just went through this with talking about preschool and elementary. So when I would be working with big sister, little sister was cutting. I set them up with something, Here are crayons and coloring. This is what you're doing right now. I'm going to go work with sister. So from the beginning, I've set them up with independent things. And as they've gotten older, those things have increased. Chores, making your own breakfast, getting your own lunch ready, taking care of your pet. I mean, those things are important. And again, I think this does fall back a lot into a parenting philosophy and not a homeschooling philosophy. One of the reasons I do love that the Timberdoodle kits, they focus on increasing that independence in their learning. So my kids have taken ownership over their learning. They get out their geography and they can read it and do the activity and do what they're supposed to. They can get out their thinking and read it and do what they're supposed to. They can get out their handwriting and follow the directions and do what they're supposed to. So much of it is them knowing they have to take that initiative. And by having the flow, it reminds them what they need to do. But yeah, it's consistency. Consistency is huge. And I honestly think one of the most important things that you can do as a parent is be consistent. And the same is true in homeschool. So, are you sure you don't want me to take a break?
Whenever you're done.
Okay, I got 3 minutes, okay?
Okay.
All right, guys. So, how can I encourage that? Do it all the time. Show them, teach them, help them, and let them take pride in shouldering some of their own responsibilities, because kids do enjoy that. They really do. You have to give them the opportunity. But with that, especially like with chores and things, you have to accept that that comes with letting go of perfection. It's out the window. Okay, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be done. And that's okay. All right, guys. Yeah, we're so long. I'm so sorry. I'm probably going to keep it in one video just because my content is already planned out and I already have plans for every other day. So this one's going to be long. It's going to be long. All right, guys. I hope that you found any of that helpful, entertaining, or informative. If you did, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. Bye, guys.